Good evening, viewers. You're watching India Today, 7 at 7. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Here are the headlines. Delhi cops intensify probe into the butchery of Aftab. Cops claim he is being evasive and smell a larger plot. Court allows nod for narco test. Aam Aadmi Party MLA Skin aides arrested for allegedly taking bribe for promising ticket for MCD polls. Complainant releases sting operation as well as Aam Aadmi Party rejects charges. Prime Minister Modi leaves Bali after a packed two-day G20 summit. Prime Minister holds talks with UK Prime Minister. 3,000 visas for young professionals from India cleared shortly after that meet. Xi Jinping schools Justin Trudeau on camera over alleged press leaks, calls the leaks inappropriate, accuses the Canada Prime Minister of being insincere. Trudeau hits back, says we cannot agree on everything. Two dead in Poland, 15 miles from Ukraine border after a missile strike. Biden chairs emergency meeting, doubts missiles were fired from Russia. Former President Donald Trump throws his hat in the ring for 2024's race to the White House, announces bid for presidency, says time to make America great again. NASA's most powerful ever Artemis moon rocket lifts off from Earth. The Orion spacecraft's success could pave way for people to climb aboard for future missions that go to the lunar surface. Top focus is the Shraddha murder case, which is only getting murkier. Days after arresting murderer Aftab, in a chilling confession, Aftab told Delhi cops that he tried killing Shraddha once in the past as well, but since she started crying, he changed his mind. He claims at that time too, he thought of killing her following an argument over marriage. Here's the full report.
Surgical gloves lying at Aftab Amin Poonawalla's Chhatarpur flat. The same flat that he shared with his live-in partner, Shraddha Walkar. The same flat where he strangled her and then chopped up her body in 35 pieces.
I'm standing right outside the room of Aftab, and I'll just show you a very crucial evidence. Inside the room you can see these are the latex surgical gloves. Now these are the exclusive visuals that we are showing on our channel for our viewers.
Inspired by the American crime thriller Dexter, the recovery of surgical gloves has added another stunning twist to this sordid murder. Police sources have told India Today that investigators suspect that Shraddha's body was cut into pieces in the bathroom after the murder. Sources say Aftab left the shower running so that the dead body could be chopped easily and the blood flowed out. Many novels and books have also been found in the house. Meanwhile, the hunt for Shraddha's remains continues. 10 body parts have been recovered from the Mehrauli forest so far. Among them are some bones of what could be her spinal torso region. Delhi police will soon call Shraddha's father for a DNA test. What's more, days after butchering Shraddha, Aftab visited a local doctor to get a cut on his hand treated.
मैंने उससे पूछा, मैंने उससे हिंदी में बात किया, तो इसके बाद वो हिंदी नहीं बोल रहा था, कंटिन्यूअस इंग्लिश बोल रहा था, काफी लाउड, काफी जो है कॉन्फिडेंट लग रहा था वो. तो फिर मैंने उससे पूछा कि हाउ डिड यू सस्टेन दिस इंजरी. तो उसने बोला कि एक्चुअली व्हाइल कटिंग फ्रूट आई गॉट दिस इंजरी एंड आई वाज यूजिंग माय नाइफ.
India Today has also accessed an Instagram chat of Shraddha where she was asking a friend for feedback on her first reel. That conversation was on 4th of May. What happened in the next 14 days that led to her brutal murder? With Arvind Ojha and Shreya Chatterjee in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
It's not lost on anybody that it was a murder so heinous that Shraddha's body was chopped up into 35 parts by her live-in partner. But there are still several missing links that the cops will have to connect. From her missing body parts to the murder weapon, the dots into the gruesome murders are still left unconnected, where forensics come into play.
One of India's most blood-curdling murders. Despite the mind-numbing findings and horrifying revelations, there are several missing links which the cops are still groping for. While the police have found 10 to 12 pieces of body parts, including pelvic bones, DNA match results are awaited. Crucially, most remains of Shraddha's body, including her head, are yet to be traced. The severed head was allegedly kept in the fridge by Aftab and disposed of last, and he kept looking at it to keep Shraddha's memory alive.
We are right now in the same forest where Aftab used to bring the body parts of Shraddha, and he used to throw them here in this dense forest. And now, today, the police teams have been here. They're trying to find more and more evidences as far as that particular murder is concerned.
The police have so far been unable to recover the weapon, a saw that Aftab used to cut off Shraddha into pieces. Police claims he is constantly changing statements and isn't giving any clarity on the weapon used to cut Shraddha into 35 pieces. As Aftab used to make 2 AM trips every day to dispose of his slain girlfriend's body parts, cops suspect he used a carry bag or a backpack. Finding it can join many missing dots. Aftab tried his best to hide the murder by removing every bit of physical evidence that he could. He, however, failed in eliminating digital evidence. He used Shraddha's phone, interacted with her friends after killing her, and the location was tracked back to Delhi, getting him eventually arrested by the Delhi police. But cops are yet to find the phone. Aftab managed to dispose of blood-stained clothes in a garbage van right after strangling Shraddha and cutting her body. But when the police visited his house, they found it cleaned with chemicals to wipe out blood stains and DNA traces. With many missing links in the case, the Delhi and Mumbai police have a lot on their plate. With Akshay Dongre, Rahul Gautam and Shreya Chatterjee in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Aftab Poonawalla, who allegedly killed his girlfriend Shraddha Valkar and chopped her body into pieces, will be made to now undergo a narco-analysis test, for which the cops have sought permission from a local court. All of this after Delhi police revealed that Aftab was constantly changing statements and is neither giving information on the weapon he used for the murder nor giving clarity on Shraddha's phone. Here's more.
Modern world's clinical interrogation, the narco-analysis examination, is one of the trusted methods used by investigators against a non-cooperative accused. But what is a narco test? It is a psychological test with scientific tools. Sodium pentothal IV drug is given to the suspect. The patient turns dissociated. The suspect is questioned in this sedated state. The uninhibited patient reveals the truth. This whole process is done under the supervision of a doctor. Narco-analysis is like other scientific techniques like lie detector test used by investigators. Ajmal Amir Kasab, the only terrorist in the 2008 Mumbai terror strikes captured alive, was subjected to narco-analysis test to corroborate the confession. In a subconscious state, he elaborately revealed training and plan hatched by Pakistan. Between 2008 and 2010, Noida dentist Dr. Rajesh Talwar, his wife Nupur, and also compounder Krishna underwent the test as suspects in the Arushi murder case, but the results were inconclusive. In 2007, Moninder Singh Pandher and his servant Surender Kohli also had to face the same examination at the Directorate of Forensic Science Lab to establish involvement in serial murders of women and children in Nithari Bungalow. They were convicted later. Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me right now is Shreya Chatterjee from Delhi. She's been tracking the case very closely. Two questions, Shreya. Number one, the cops seem to suggest that there is a larger plot which Aftab is trying to hide.
Well, absolutely, Preeti. That is indeed the case. What Delhi police believes right now, that there's a huge possibility that he is in fact misleading the Delhi police, and that's one of the primary reasons why the Delhi police has actually gone to the court right now seeking a narco test. Now, we all know that a narco test is in itself admissible in the court, but why the Delhi police is now depending largely on this is probably they want to understand that if in his unconscious state he's hiding something from the Delhi police which would help them in piecing the entire story together. The Delhi police has cracked the story, but they are definitely finding it a little difficult when it comes to gather the evidence because 6 months have passed by. There's a lot that they're depending right now on scientific and technical analysis, and that's the reason if the narco test gives them any key elements, if there was a third person involved, if he was indeed meticulously planning this murder from months ahead, that could probably give Delhi police any key breaking that would help them make it a watertight case before the court. And right now it's important because remember, tomorrow Aftab's remand also expires, and Delhi police would obviously want to seek further custody. So a lot of things depends on what transpires tomorrow, but definitely scientific evidence is what the Delhi police is right now banking on.
Where, you know, Shreya, where is the biggest lacuna or the loophole when it comes to forensics?
Well, multiple biggest lacunas are there, you know, when we talk about that. See, the weapon that was used to chop Shraddha into multiple pieces, that's missing right now. The saw that we are talking about. Where are the clothes of Shraddha that she was wearing? That we believe was disposed of so far as the interrogation is concerned in a garbage bin. So there are a lot of pieces of evidence that is very crucial to prove a murder which Delhi police right now do not have. The CCTV which is very crucial on the part of tracking a person, an accused, is also difficult. 6 months have passed. Usually a CCTV backup is between a 30 to 45 days case. There, even after that, the Delhi police, what we have learned, is trying to map the entire area, the possible points from where this person might have just travelled in while he was disposing of the body parts of Shraddha, and if at all they could have used advanced technical means to get the data which is previous to 6 months, there's something that the Delhi police could land upon, but definitely multiple missing elements. The weapon used for chopping off isn't there, the clothes that Shraddha was wearing when she was murdered isn't there. There is still the FSL report to come. Whether these dismembered bones that is received is indeed of Shraddha's, that's yet to know. So there are a lot of things that are yet to come, and the Delhi police hence is depending largely on scientific evidence, as I was pointing out.
Shreya, does the Delhi police suspect the involvement of anybody else other than just Aftab?
Well, right now the Delhi police is not saying no to any possibilities, because what they clearly understand, and with every day what everyone is understanding, that this planning was done very smartly. He ensured that every piece of evidence is wiped out. There's already one piece of information that he had got a date home even after the murder of Shraddha while the body parts were inside the fridge. Whether the person was aware or not, there's something that the Delhi police would want to know. The confession is important. Whether there were more than one woman, because we're also learning that this man was not just active on one dating app. There were multiple dating apps that he was using. So there is wider possibilities right now. That's the reason, you know, as much as it sounds wild because a narco test is inadmissible, it's still a very crucial part that the Delhi police would right now want to use to unearth further details that this man is right now hiding.
All right, Shreya, appreciate you joining us. We're going to continue to come back to you for more updates. So lots of loopholes there that the Delhi police needs to tie up, and very quickly at that as well. Meanwhile, let's quickly move on to our next story, which we are keeping a close eye on, and that concerns the political theatrics in the state of Karnataka. In midst of speculations making rounds from where the senior Congress leader Siddaramaiah would contest the upcoming polls, he hinted at his candidature from the Kolar seat, which right now the BJP and the JDU say is picking a safe seat. His visit to Kolar has ignited a war of words in the poll-bound state. Taking a pot shot, the ruling BJP in Karnataka termed Siddaramaiah a vagabond, hunting for a seat that would hold no defeat, basically a safe seat. Not only that, JDS H.D. Kumaraswamy too took a jibe at Siddaramaiah, saying his enemies are not in any other party but in Congress itself. Meanwhile, B.S. Yediyurappa said Siddaramaiah, who currently represents Badami segment of Bagalkot district, may not have worked for the people and hence dicey to contest from there this time. The speculation is rife that Sidda is going to contest from Kolar, as it is being seen as an attempt to contest from a seat that would ensure election or his victory in 2023 when Karnataka goes to polls.
ಇವತ್ತು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನನ್ನ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾವು ಬಿಡಿ, ಜನ ಬಿಡಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೆಂಬಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕವಾಗಿ ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅಭ್ಯರ್ಥಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಯಾವ ಮುಖ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜನರ ಹತ್ರ ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಿ?
ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಶತ್ರುಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನೊಳಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವೇ
ಈಗ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಂತ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದೆ ಗೆಲ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಜಾಗವನ್ನ. ಅದು ಕೋಲಾರನೋ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂತೂ ಹುಡುಕಾಟ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆಗಿದೆ.
All right, quickly moving on, the latest coming in, initial findings suggest that a missile that hit Poland was fired by Ukrainian forces at an incoming Russian missile. The preliminary assessments indicate that the missile that struck Poland had been fired by Ukrainian forces as a retaliation to an incoming Russian missile. As per Polish officials, 2 people were killed in the explosion in the Polish village situated about 3 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. Poland said this blast marks the first time since the invasion of Ukraine that weapons came down on a NATO country, and it has increased monitoring of its aerospace. NATO and global leaders met and raised concerns that the Ukraine conflict could spill over its borders. US President said the blast may not be from Russian missile and vowed to protect every inch of NATO territory. Russia has also denied its role in the missile attack on Poland and saying it's not even aware of the development. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky slammed Russia over a significant escalation of the war by firing missiles at Ukraine.
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is it's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we'll see. We'll see.
Тим більше сьогодні сталося те, про що ми давно попереджали. Ми говорили.
How many times Ukrainian army has said that the terrorist state will not be constrained to striking our country? Poland, Baltic states, it is a question of time when Russian terror moves further afield. The terrorist has to be shown its place. The longer Russia feels impunity, the more threats it will create for all who are within the range of Russian missiles. To fire missiles at NATO territory, this is a Russian missile attack on collective security. It's a significant escalation. Action is required. I now want to tell every one of our Polish brothers and sisters, the Ukrainian army will always support you. Free people won't be broken by terror. Victory is possible when there is no fear. And we and you are not afraid.
Our enemies are speaking of us with scorn and laughter and derision because of those 2 events. But there are many more. Even just today, a missile was sent in, probably by Russia, to Poland, 50 miles into Poland, and people are going absolutely wild and crazy, and they're not happy. They are very, very angry.
Meanwhile, Twitter CEO Elon Musk has been taking drastic decisions from firing employees to removing certain features from Twitter. Here are the top 5 developments. As indicated by several posts on Twitter, roughly 20 employees lost jobs at Twitter in the last 48 hours for being critical of Musk's claim publicly and internally. In one case, Musk announced the firing in a tweet. In another, the former employee said he was fired after he openly rebuked Musk. Elon has also said Twitter is very slow in India, Indonesia and many other countries. Musk claims this is a fact and not a claim, adding that a 10 to 15 seconds to refresh homeline tweets is common. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Meanwhile, less than a week after it was paused, Twitter's new owner Musk said that Twitter Blue will be relaunched on November 29. This is a minor delay from his initial tentative timeline when he would be said bringing back the services by the end of next week. Meanwhile, Musk has also announced that Twitter will soon stop mentioning what device a tweet was written on. Musk has called the feature a waste of screen space and compute, claiming that literally no one in Twitter knew why they added the feature in the first place. Musk on Tuesday rehired the 2 popular pranksters Rahul Ligma and Daniel Johnson as a practical joke amidst the mass layoffs in the company. Pranksters Ligma and Johnson were photographed leaving Twitter office, a box of their belongings in midst of Twitter layoffs. You're watching a fact-check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp group. There's a claim suggesting that this picture is Arunachal Pradesh's bamboo airport. Well, in truth, that's factually correct, but this picture is the new Bengaluru airport and not of Arunachal Pradesh.